What's up, y'all? T-Bob here from Snaps, daily college football show that I hope you really enjoy. And I've been getting a lot of crap on my show lately about, choosing Alabama over Texas. You know what I didn't do, though? I didn't bet on him. You know who I did bet on? Kansas, okay? And I did it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app because when it comes on where I like to gamble, I love the DraftKings app. And it's because they got incredible offers. If you're already a DraftKings customer, well, check this out. Every single NFL game day during September, you're not going to have just one, but two new offers waiting on you when you sign in. So you'll have to sign in to see exactly what those offers are. But just remember, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, every NFL game day, all customers getting two exciting offers from DraftKings to play with. It's a ton of fun. But what if you're a new customer? Well, I've got an even better deal for you. You use the promo code T-Bob when you sign up, okay? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B. You bet $5 on any NFL game, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's right. Put $5 down on any of the games. Don't even have to win. You get $200 instantly in bonus bets. You can go play with those on college football, NFL, whatever you want. You can play with those. That's some of those incredible deals you get. So you see it. There's not a more fun place to get in on the action than DraftKings. And you can do all your same game parlays, multi-game parlays, whatever you want. So download the app now. Sign up with the promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B, $5 gives you $200 in bonus bets instantly. And for returning customers, remember every NFL game day, two exciting new offers from your official sports betting partner of the NFL, DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, there we go. Hey, what's going on, Amp? This is T-Bob and Aaron, and this is Snaps, one of your favorite college football shows. YouTube.com/@VolumeSnaps. So the channel trying to hit 6K subscribers, and we talk football every single day here. At the time of this recording, it's about 7:30 on a Sunday, and the boys are up and at it recapping the biggest weekend of college football that we have had thus far. We'll break down the Ohio State Notre Dame game. We'll dive in Ole Miss, Colorado, and FSU and Clemson on today's show. And then Monday on YouTube, we'll have a full recap of every single game over the weekend. Aaron, what's up, man? How you feeling this morning? I sit down on this mic. It's 7:30. Everybody's a little hungover, and I'm just immediately assaulted by Georgia takes. Yeah, good. The offense looked against UAB. No, Aaron. Nobody watched Georgia yesterday, a day in which we had 7 ranked-unranked matchups. Sorry, nobody watched Georgia UAB, and nobody gives a fuck about what happened in Georgia UAB.
No, people do, because it's Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer moves the needle. He's like the Deion Sanders here in the Southeast. Yeah, big personality. People want to see, could Trent Dilfer bring the juice in Sanford Stadium? Because like you said, it's playing in the SEC is bigger than playing in a Super Bowl, according to Dilfer. So,
All right. I'm putting a stop to this because I'm not going to let you start the show with you. This is my fault. Okay.
You brought it up.
I know this
you
is my
started
fault.
it. Don't start. You brought it up.
Jeremy Brown 504 on YouTube says, and this is an opening comment. We do this every day. So if you comment on our videos, maybe an episode opening comment. Hold up. UJ fans crawling and barking at UAB fans. I got to find a video. LOL. Talk about not knowing how to act like back-to-back natty champs. Kirby deserves better. Then the MCJ 2011 says, he's a Georgia fan. You worried about other fan bases way too much. And then Jeremy Brown says, I stand by what I said, but as an LSU fan, I can't say you're wrong. So nice little exchange here in the comments. All right.
I love the fact that Georgia fans are still hungry, willing to get in the fights and barking at people.
I don't care. Nobody gives a fuck. Shut the fuck up.
That's what I care
about.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares. You might as well exist on a cloud or an island.
Bobo's offense last night was what Georgia fans are going to get going forward.
Stop. We're not talking about Georgia UAB. It's about Ohio State and Notre Dame. Because Aaron, what are they in? And it's funny, man. Cliches are boring. Cliches are trite. They're tired. But you know what? A lot of times there's truth in it. And what do they always say about football? It's a game of inches. I mean, does anything embody that more than 3 seconds on the clock, game on the line, one play to win it all, the goal line, who can get the push, who can find a way. DeMonte Traynham, years of work hanging in the balance for both schools, legacy, a playoff. It was like everything hanging in the balance, and he somehow finds a way to keep his knee off the ground, barely get that ball to break the plane, and the Ohio State Buckeyes have a walk-off win in South Bend.
And don't forget the more dramatics of the entire thing, the fact that Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field for the last two plays of the game. That was added another little wrinkle to the entire thing of, do you jump off sides? Do you send someone out there real quick to get 11? Because moving the ball half a ball's length wasn't really going to do much.
So, let's just dive in. So for those that don't know, yes, somehow Notre Dame, which had played so well all night defensively, had 10. It's inexplicable. Had 10 players on the field the final 2 plays of the game, and they still almost stopped him. And where did they run it to? They ran it to right where the defensive tackle was supposed to be that wasn't on the field. The worst part is, Aaron, a couple of things. First off, after the first play, Ohio State substituted, meaning it would not have been a penalty. You could have substituted when the offense substitutes, the defense gets to, right? The other worst part to me is Marcus Freeman's explanations after the game kind of sounded like shit. It was like, it sounded like, to me, he probably was not aware, but then when he was made aware after the fact, it sounds like they tried to logic some things up, right? Like, okay, here's a direct quote from Marcus Freeman, quote, but to me, it was like, hey, don't give them another opportunity, get settled, and try to make a different call. Hey, guys, stay off the field. Let's not give them a freebie from the half-yard line, and let's try to stop them. First off, that's a bit of a word salad, but a freebie, bro, let's have a defensive tackle in when it's a fucking goal line and you got to win the game. I'm with you. I don't understand it. Even if, let's say, even the penalty excuse holds no merit, because first off, it wouldn't have been a penalty, but even if it would have been, I don't give a fuck. A half a yard, a man having a man on the field is worth half a yard. And secondly, this idea of letting them settle again is massively outweighed by not having a D tackle in on the goal line. So it sucks because not only does Freeman barely miss out on that massive signature win that every coach is always hoping for, but he comes away actually looking like so much good erased by a small moment of inexplicable bad.
I don't think it's all erased. I think Marcus Freeman's a hell of a coach. I think that it was.
No one's saying that, but this game is defined by him. What's the first thing you brought up?
The game is not being defined by them putting 10 players on the field.
Okay, then what's the first thing you brought up? We started talking about this game then. So I wasn't even go there. I was trying to get inches and all this.
Because of course, when we're going to talk about the game-winning drive and the putting it in there at the end of the game with no time remaining, then you're going to have to bring up, well, what was part of the reason why? It was because they had 10 players on the field. That is a part of it. But when it comes to the 60 minutes of football that was played, I thought both coaches called it an awesome game. I thought both teams played extremely well on both sides of football. It was a great football game. It was awesome. Just a really good quality football game against two of the best teams in the country. And a misjudgment of putting an extra player on the field or not putting an extra player on the field is not going to take away from either side, in my opinion.
Well, that's an insanely gracious take by you, because I would think that if Ohio State scores a walk-off game-winning touchdown by running the ball to the very area in which you didn't have a defensive tackle, and they get it by 3 fucking inches, I
need to watch the film. I still don't know if it was where there wasn't this massive gap on the defense.
Yes,
oh my God, no.
Look at the fucking play.
I'll go watch.
Look at where they run the ball. Look at where they run the ball. It is exactly where the defensive end is supposed to be. Go watch the play right now. I see you look it up. Look at it right now, and you tell me.
I will watch it again. I will pull up.
Saying it doesn't take away from what other coach does. It absolutely takes away, and I feel bad because I feel.
So then, what's your opinion of Marcus Freeman right now? So I just, to me, it feels like you're just trying to.
No, I think he's a damn good coach, obviously. Okay. But in that moment, he was awful, and that moment defined the game. That is what it is. I'm not being harsh. I'm being objective. I'm not.
I don't think Notre Dame should have been in that. I think bigger issues with Notre Dame should never have been in that spot in the first place.
No doubt,
100%.
no doubt. But they
should not have been in that spot in the first spot. I know they were. I know they were. I know they were. But you can't tell me a defense that had dominated the entire football game was giving up big chunk plays on the final drive, like 3rd and 19, and you give up a 21-yard pass.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, bro, I'm not saying that other mistakes weren't made, but ultimately football comes down to what do you do at the most important times of the game.
No.
And it was the moment.
Do you think they knew? Do you think they truly knew that there was 10 guys on the field?
No, I don't.
See, that's what I'm saying right now too. Like, I think he's giving the excuse after the game, but I think in the heat of the moment, I don't think they truly knew that there was only 10 guys on the field.
No, I agree. That's why his excuse sounds like a word salad. That doesn't make any sense. And for Notre Dame fans, that's going to be frustrating. Like if you lose this game and there's 11 on the field, Aaron, then it's all like whatever. We're just talking about the game now. We're talking about when have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
No.
Neither have I. It's legitimately shocking, especially to your point, especially because it comes at the end of a near perfect performance where you had shut down these elite Ohio State weapons all night long. Hartman had found a way to get you a lead. When you got, and for Notre Dame fans, it just all feels so close. When you got the stop, 4th and 1 in the red zone, they don't even feel comfortable trying to run the ball up the middle. They're running jet sweeps and trying to throw it like that. You were dictating. You stop with about 4.5 minutes left. You feel like you have that game won. And credit to Kyle McCord staring down the gaping maw of an Irish dragon. He finds a way to go down the field. We talked about Shooter Sanders' mythological drive. Kyle McCord, who still may not be, the Ohio State caliber quarterback that we are used to. When it mattered most, Kyle McCord finds a way to get his team into the end zone.
I said before the game last week that Ohio State was a quarterback away from being possibly the best team in the country. Him doing that, does that give you more confidence that is a truer statement, especially the way the defense played? Like, how do you view Ohio State right now? Because the two big boys in the country, 1 and 2, haven't played anyone, Georgia and Michigan. So we really don't know those two teams fully just yet. But now we've seen Ohio State go on the road and win a game. And we saw their young quarterback, young in the terms of playing experience, win them a game in heroic fashion. The defense looks much improved. Yeah. They got the playmakers on the outside. Henderson looks healthy at the running back position. How do you view Ohio State as a true contender now? Was that enough?
No.
Should Ohio State fans walk away from this saying, holy shit, we actually may have a chance versus Michigan? Because I'm not sold on Penn State. I'll be honest with you right now. Like, yeah, they had a great game versus Iowa. Iowa's awful. And Iowa didn't have any of their skill. Like, the very few position guys on offense that Iowa had didn't play in the game, which is why I kind of made the bet of like, does Iowa even cross the 50-yard line more than 3 times in the game? I don't think they did. But I don't believe in Penn State. I think it's still Ohio State, Michigan will determine who's going to go on and be in the Big Ten championship game. Are you more excited, or should Ohio State fans be more excited based off the way they won that game yesterday? Because it's still different. It's still a very different brand of football.
Yeah, I would say this. I don't, to me, it's not moving the needle a ton. Now, that said, it's impossible to have a massive win like this and not come away and be like, okay, I'm more impressed than I was previously. So yes, I'm more impressed with Ohio State than I was previously, but also like, I still thought they were very good, right? Like,
yeah,
I didn't think Ohio State was bad. So no, they're as relevant of a contender as they were entering this game, and maybe a little more so, to your point. But I think now they have, let's see, FSU probably has the best pair of wins thus far on the season. And then a few other teams have one big win, and Ohio State has now entered that club as well.
I think Texas going into Tuscaloosa is a bigger win than Ohio State going on the road to Notre Dame. Because at the end of the day, Ohio State is the more talented team than Notre Dame. If you want to just do the whole blue chip ratio bullshit that we always talk about, no, Ohio State has far superior athletes than Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Alabama has better athletes than Texas. It may be a little bit of a closer gap.
Hold on. No,
but,
shut the fuck up. Stop.
But when it comes to blue chip ratio, when it comes to the whole blue chip ratio, T-Bob, they have
five.
But still better in Alabama.
It's not as big of a gap as well. Actually, no.
Exactly, which goes to my argument. Like Ohio State, Notre Dame's a bigger gap than Texas, Alabama. So it's more impressive that you're able to go in there and win that football game.
I think, yeah. I mean, look, Notre Dame, like for Ohio
going
State,
into Tuscaloosa and winning a game is, I would say, still a tougher task than going into South Bend.
You just want to jerk off to Texas this Sunday morning. I walk in on the show and you're
jerking off.
I walk in on the show.
I mean,
and
South Bend came and filled their own. They came and filled their own stadium. There's 30,000 Ohio State fans in that stadium.
I got to hear you talking about Graham Mertz when I walk in and how good Graham Mertz has been all season. Now you find a way to make it about Texas win in Tuscaloosa. You know who couldn't get it?
How would you rank it? How would you rank it?
I don't care. I don't.
No, tell me what's a more impressive win? No, what's a more impressive win?
Ohio State, because I think Notre Dame's better than Alabama. I think Notre Dame and Alabama played today, Notre Dame would win.
No.
Okay. Well, you know what? You know who tried to get their own Tuscaloosa win yesterday and couldn't do it? Ole Miss. And look, I don't know. I thought the environment was pretty spectacular in South Bend yesterday. Before we move on to Ole Miss, Alabama, a lot of Ohio State fans making the trip. I wonder, Aaron, you can't help but wonder if they got their tickets on Game Time. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States. You get amazing last minute tickets to your favorite college team, pro team. And it's one of those things where, if you want to go to an opponent's stadium and you want to find a way to get those tickets, Game Time is there for you. Just download the app and sign up today, right? And it's not just college and pro football, though. They have tickets to baseball games, concert, comedy shows, whatever. And right now, if you use the promo code SNAPS, SNAPS, you get $20 off your first purchase. That's SNAPS, terms apply. So again, download the Game Time app, SNAPS, $20 off. And no matter where you live, let's have some fun this week. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Game Time. So you mentioned Texas, Alabama. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, very confident, trying to go in to Alabama and get the win, make it 2 losses in a row to Saban, to former assistants at home. And for about a half, Aaron, it looked like maybe it was going to happen. An incredibly sloppy first half, really, for both teams.
Yeah.
But especially Alabama. And but a 7-6 halftime score ends up 24-10. Ole Miss couldn't get anything going in that second half, dude.
Well, it is a great Alabama defense. I don't know why we're so surprised. Like, this is a quality Alabama defense, and for Ole Miss, they were coming in somewhat one-dimensional because Judkins is not healthy. Like, he's looked like a shell of himself from what he was able to accomplish last year. Like, coming into the game, 3.3 yards per carry. This game, just over 4 yards per carry, which is well under what he was doing last year. So, like, if we knew that Ole Miss was only going to rush for 56 yards, there's no chance they were going to win that football game. And then this was my concern heading into it. Ole Miss is not shown on tape this season that they're a physical team at the line of scrimmage on either side of the football. On the either side. You can't walk into Tuscaloosa and get bullied. Why did Texas win the football game? Because Texas was the aggressor. They dominated in the trenches. They won on the defensive line. They won the offensive line. And that's the key. I mean, that's what Michigan's done to Ohio State. Like, they played big boy football. You can't come tippy-toeing into Alabama. You just can't do it because they are talented. They are deep. They're strong at the interior, and they pushed you around. And then when push comes to shove in the third and fourth quarter, that's when they start to really run away with it. I still think Ole Miss is a good football team. It's just if you like, I view Ole Miss, you look at their schedule, I still think they're an 8-win, possibly 9-win football team because there's very few teams that can play with the physicality that Alabama wants to and can possibly play with. Alabama's biggest issue was just taking care of the football with the quarterback situation. Jalen had a horrendous interception. Other than that, they dumbed down the playbook for him, made it really easy, ran the ball a lot more with him. McClellan played a great game as well.
So they should have, every game.
This is the type of offense. I said it in last night's show too, with Brumley, and I'll reiterate it with you. For Ohio State and for Alabama, these are the type of games that you're going to have to get used to more of this year. It's not sexy. It's not 40 to 20. It's not 50 to 14. You're going to win more games this year for Ohio State and Alabama that are going to be 27 to 14, 24 to 10.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you said before, a win's a win, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, this is, yes, exactly. Like, unlike, again, Georgia, who has no perspective, like, this is an Alabama team that is not good enough to be upset with, oh, we didn't beat this team by enough. We didn't beat this team. No, like, they don't have that luxury this year, which is rare for them. They're not used to being there, but that's the reality. So a 24-10 lead win is, I mean, I don't know, bro. It actually ends up being fucking dominant. I mean, it was a battle of good on good when you talk about Ole Miss offense versus Alabama's defense, and bad on bad when you talk about Alabama's offense against Ole Miss's defense. And, well, Alabama's good was a little better than Ole Miss's, and their bad was as well. And that ends up being the story. I mean, that second half, it kind of felt like by that fourth quarter that Ole Miss had just given up. Like the offense just knew that they weren't going to be able to move the ball, and they just seemed like they had the feeling of a team that was just resigned to their fate. And I don't know. I mean, it was from even like Lane Kiffin's body language. And I know that's just a bit of Lane, right? He kind of wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to how the flow of the game is going. But I really do feel like his body language, the team's body language in that fourth, again, was a team that was just resigned to accept that, that's over. Like there's 5 minutes of like, get it, you're down 14, you're kind of moving the ball, but you're going so slow. You're just kind of walking around. It was sad to see.
I think their expectations were that we were going to come in there, create some turnovers, get some short fields, hit some explosive plays down the field, get Judkins healthy, and kind of create like a 14-point lead. Like I think their mind was like, Alabama can't win a shootout. We feel like we can. And all of a sudden, when you look up, it's only 7-6, and Alabama's still in it, and they haven't played a really good first half. I think you start to question yourself, like, damn, like we can't win low-scoring football games. Like Alabama, once again, Alabama can win those type of games. Ole Miss wants to win games in the 30s and 40s. Like they're a shootout team. They're not comfortable playing those type of ball games. And I think that's where you start to see the defeat of like, we're not creating explosive plays. We're not running the ball effectively. We're not getting the turnovers we thought we were going to consistently get with Jalen Miller at quarterback, besides the one interception. Like nothing is going to what we thought it would go to when it comes to the plan.
Yeah. And you know this, when you're a part of a team and what you think you do really well is going horribly, the psychological effect that it can have on you is just incredibly deflating, right? Because you're like, oh wait, I thought this was our identity. This is who we're supposed to be, and you can't even do that. I mean, bro, you can speak to this, Aaron. How do you think Jackson Dart is feeling today, like physically? Because he got hit a lot yesterday.
Dude, got crushed. I mean, I felt like Dallas Turner was in the backfield on every critical play in the second half. I mean, all over him. And plus, I mean, he's been, through the first part of the season, like he's been the runner. I mean, Judkins had 13 carries. Jackson Dart had 12. Jackson Dart is their leading rusher right now when it comes to carries. I mean, it's you couple that with getting hit in the pocket every time he's throwing the football as well. I still think he's an excellent quarterback. I still think this offense is pretty banged up. Like Jackson is still not healthy. They have some receivers that aren't back yet for this team. Like this will be the worst, in my opinion, that Ole Miss plays this season. And they got a big opportunity next week. Like your LSU Tigers, I don't know if we're going to hit on them or not today, but LSU gave up a ton of yards to an Arkansas team that we didn't sure if they had receivers that could win at all on the outside.
Yeah.
And they went up and down the field. And if Arkansas can do that in Baton Rouge, Ole Miss should be kind of looking at this as like, hey man, this may be a get-right game for us to kind of get the offense going again, get healthy, and see if Judkins can eclipse 100 yards.
No, look, football is a game of matchups, right? And
Yes.
and fight styles. Like in boxing, what do they always say? Like styles make fights.
Yep.
Alabama is a bad matchup for Ole Miss.
Yep.
LSU is not. So if you're an Ole Miss fan, you should be, yeah, like Aaron's talking about, you should be looking forward to next week because you're going to be able to score. Like, I don't think LSU is going to be able to stop Ole Miss consistently. That thing's probably going to have to turn into a shootout. And I don't know if it's like a who has the ball last situation, but I would not expect Ole Miss to come out and lay an offensive egg like they did yesterday.
I'd still take
Alabama.
I would take Jaden in that offense in any matchup. If there's a shootout right now, I don't know if there's a better offense to go into a shootout with than LSU at the moment. Like when they get rolling, because in a shootout, I mean, both teams are rolling. Like LSU has shown us for 3 straight weeks now, when it is clicking, it's unstoppable. I had them 3 weeks ago. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? Whenever I had them
Grambling
versus Grambling, they scored every possession. Last week, they almost scored every possession. Second half yesterday, I feel like they scored on almost every possession.
No, they're I can't remember the exact stat. But it was basically like 6 of 7 or something like that. Like credit KJ Jefferson. I mean, whatever. We're not going to talk about that game, but KJ Jefferson was awesome yesterday. He was the fly in the ointment for LSU.
Second half for LSU, touchdown, field goal. Yeah,
there you go, to win the game.
And a touchdown before halftime too.
And a field goal.
Yeah. It's a scary offense when they get going. I love their offense.
That's gonna be, good. That's gonna be like you said, that's gonna be an offensive.
But the question becomes, Ole Miss it was a bad matchup for Ole Miss going against Alabama. Will it be a bad matchup for LSU when they go to Alabama?
That's what I'm saying. Like style make fights. Like it's going to be much closer. I don't think that. I think it's a much more favorable matchup for Ole Miss. Does this change? Last thing. And
no. I'm not talking about Ole Miss and LSU. I'm talking about LSU and Alabama.
Oh,
Is
sorry.
that a bad matchup? I said it was a bad matchup for Ole Miss and Alabama. It played out. Based on what we've seen from LSU, it's going to be interesting to see if that's also going to be a bad matchup for LSU going into Tuscaloosa later this season.
I would say that LSU's offensive line gives them much more of a chance than because Ole Miss looked hapless because they couldn't do anything on the line. But again, LSU's defense does look susceptible to Jalen Milroe, maybe just kind of adding numbers and kind of overwhelming. Okay, last thing here. Did this change how you feel about Alabama at all? I mean, it's good. It's a really good win, but like, I don't know. Alabama's still maybe the best in the West. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely not like maybe nothing overwhelming still. I don't come away from this game be like, oh my God, they're so good.
No, I don't walk away from this game saying like, oh my God, Alabama has a chance to win a national championship. No. I do walk away from this game saying that you look at the rest of the West. I think it's more indicative of what the West is right now than necessarily how I feel about Alabama. Because like you look at their schedule, Mississippi State's not a good football team. A&M, did not look great versus Auburn yesterday. Arkansas, I still don't think is a great football team. Tennessee's not great. Kentucky it's really struggled this year. And then at the end of the season at Auburn, like the only game to me that's on their schedule that I'm concerned right now is the game versus LSU, and you get them at home. So like, can they win the West? Yeah. I don't think they will. I still think LSU comes out victorious in that football game and ends up facing Georgia in the SEC Championship game. But I will say this, like the win yesterday does not at all, while it may make me think that there's more of a possibility of them getting to Atlanta, does not make me feel like this is a national championship team at all this season. They're not.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on. Oregon beats Colorado 42-6 yesterday. A lot of and shout out Colin Wilson, our gambling guy, told you he loved Oregon every which way but Sunday. Yesterday, a lot of like, I'm seeing a lot of like, like fuck you, Colorado. Now the hype can finally die, and I just don't. I understand why it's happening. I guess I just don't agree with it, and I don't engage with it because I don't give it a lot of credence. Like, I never thought Colorado was going to win this game.
No.
And we never really thought it was going to be that close. Colorado this year was never going to be judged by, are you beating Oregon, USC? And I'm not trying to be some sort of apologist or anything. I just mean that like I come away from this game and I'm more impressed with Oregon, then I'm down on Colorado. Like, I come away from this game like, okay, like Oregon, we're trying to figure out who is the true Pac-12 big dog, and Washington looked fucking awesome again last night. So shout out Washington as well. Still got USC out there. Even like Wazoo and stuff. But Oregon now feels like, okay, you know what? They are very clearly in that first tier, and maybe they end up being your Pac-12 champion. I mean, Bo Nix was fantastic yesterday.
No, we said this is going to be his opportunity to make a statement in the Heisman run. He had a great year last year. You know, they had the loss late in the season. He got banged up, and that kind of derailed any opportunity. But he's been nothing short of magnificent this entire season, throwing the football, running the football, being creative with his legs. I mean, he makes splash plays, and that's what you need. If you want to win the Heisman, you need splash, sexy plays. And Bo Nix brings that week in and week out. And he did it on a stage where everyone was going to be watching the game. Like, I'm interested to see who covered that game. Was it ESPN or Fox? I have everything on mute. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But regardless, like, I'm just interested to see what the numbers were, because obviously we know Colorado's been putting up stupid numbers when it comes to viewership. That was
did you see what Dan Lanning said at halftime?
What?
In the halftime interview, he's running off the field and he goes, hopefully all those people that have been watching all those games are watching this. I was like, ooh, okay, Dan. Okay, Dan.
Because, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, like, how many Oregon games do people truly watch during the season? And they'll watch more this year than in previous, because you look at their schedule and it's against, they have Washington and Washington State and Utah and USC and Oregon State left on the schedule. So, like, those will be opportunities for more primetime games than Oregon's maybe ever had, but usually they're playing later in the day where people in the East Coast aren't watching them, and that's where a lot of the Heisman vote comes from. So I think this was a great opportunity. It was on ABC, according to Brumley. This was a great opportunity for Bo Nix to make a statement that I am an elite quarterback. I know there's a lot of great quarterbacks in this league. I've been kind of put to the side and moved behind Shedeur Sanders because of the way he's played. And that was kind of his moment of saying, not so fast. Like, don't forget about me. Don't forget about the Ducks.
So I come away from this game feeling really bullish on Oregon. With Colorado, again, it doesn't ding them too hard in my eyes, but Shedeur Sanders, this is a growth opportunity here. It's the first time that he looked mortal all season long.
Look, the receivers were mortal too. Like, I thought that was gonna be a matchup that Colorado could have moments of moving the ball, because I didn't think Oregon's DBs were necessarily game wreckers, and they couldn't get open. They couldn't. No. A lot of those were coverage sacks where, Weaver was getting locked up one-on-one with those DBs down the field. And there was
so how do you overcome that, though? How do you overcome that? And I don't mean like you're going to overcome it and have success, but you can't take that many sacks. So, like, what do you do? Are you just throwing the ball away? Do you just have to throw it and hope the receiver can make a play? Like, what do you try to do?
The only thing that can help Colorado right now is finding a way to run the football in Travis Hunter. But you have to, and they can't. Like, they're stuck right now. I mean, this is an offense that teams know that they don't even want to commit to running the football. There's not a commitment to run it. They ran the ball 15 times in the game. And I know if you go look at the stats, it's 25 of 40. 10 of those were from
Shedeur being sacked.
For minus 34. They ran the ball 15 times in the game. They know they can't run. Teams know they can't run. And teams are now just preparing to just play more coverage and slow down these receivers.
And I don't know. I feel like you're right. Running the ball would absolutely help Shedeur. I also feel like it's almost a game flow situation where, again, I don't know. Maybe it's impossible, though, to your point, if the receivers aren't open. But, like, some games you can get away with what he's been so good at this year, holding the ball, extending the play, and just finding a way to make some magic happen. But at a certain point, this game, you had to realize it was just not that game. And you got to get that ball out. Even though, I don't know, what are you going to do? Oregon just clearly better than Colorado.
Well,
as they should be. As they should be right now. I mean, they've been recruiting for years.
Yeah, and to defend Sanders a little bit on that, like, I think, like, there's multiple times where I'm just like yelling at the TV, like, throw the ball away, throw the ball away, throw the ball. But I think in the part of his mind, too, is he understood that we're not going to be able to move the ball methodically down the field. That wasn't going to happen.
True.
I need to create splash plays. I need to create explosive plays. And I need to give my receivers as much time as I can give them to be able to get open down the field. So I'm going to kind of sit back here and try to see if I could be a magician with the football. And it just wasn't his day. I mean, that defense was all over him from the very first possession. It wasn't going to happen. And like you alluded to, T-Bob, like I don't think anyone in their right mind expected Colorado to win that football game. There's people like myself that was hoping that they could make it interesting. And make it maybe somewhat competitive for at least a half.
We did bet Colorado plus 21. Yep. Full disclosure. Yep. We had a good day yesterday, but
that's also why I bet the under 70.5 just to make sure.
Aaron's unders were on fire yesterday.
3 for 3. I was 7 for yesterday. I was 7 for yesterday.
3. Let's go, bro. I haven't checked my record yet. I'll be taking your 10% bookie fee. Shout out DraftKings. All right, so that's Oregon. The other biggest game, the other best game of the day, got it started at 11 a.m. slate with an absolute battle in Death Valley. We reacted to it live on Snaps yesterday. Florida State finding a way to win in overtime yesterday against Clemson. Aaron, it's the classic kind of sports question in these scenarios. Was yesterday, to you, more of a statement of FSU being on the rise or Clemson on the decline?
I would say FSU on the rise because I was pretty happy with Clemson.
I agree. That's well said.
That was a good football game, and I thought Clemson impressed me in ways that I don't think these words would ever come out of my mouth this year. That Cade Klubnik looked efficient throwing the football. That the offensive line looked more physical. Like they were the more physical team, and they were multiple times should have pulled away and won that football game. Clemson should have won. They didn't. They didn't take advantage of momentum at certain times of the game.
Should have won. Should have won is strong. That's a strong. I don't think I can give it a should have won.
They did not take advantage of moments where they could have created an opportunity to really extend the lead.
Yes,
and maybe it's a mixture of them not taking advantage, and then Florida State, who let's not forget, like they were
making
down by
great
10.
plays.
Well, they were down by 10 to LSU. Like this team finds a way to make plays in big time moments, and they did it versus Clemson. Like driving down the field, Jordan Travis getting the 4th and 1 to stay up and get the first down, then drive down the field, score a touchdown. The strip sack fumble, like those were 2 moments where if he doesn't get the first down, Clemson has a chance to really extend the lead before halftime. If they don't get the strip sack fumble, Clemson's driving to take a 2-score lead.
I mean, that felt like the game right there. If Clemson scores right there, that felt like that was going to be it.
It's over.
It's completely over. And
Clemson was the more dominant team. They rushed for 146 yards. Florida State rushed for 22. They got 3 sacks to 2. So like they, to me, looked more like the Clemson team that we've seen in years past because of the efficiency of running the football and Klubnik be able to get the balls to his receivers. But I give Florida State more credit in the sense of you went on the road in one of the most hostile environments in your conference against a quality opponent that had their best game of the season. You didn't have the best first half, but yet you still found a way to win. And that resilience to me is something that's a mark of a champion.
Yeah, I agree. Like the part that I can't escape here is the Death Valley aspect. That stadium was loud. It was intimidating. You could feel the kind of desperate hunger out of Clemson fans needing a big moment after a couple of years of just being shit on by all the national media and guys like us and all the Aaron Murray's out here saying we're going to fall out of the rankings. And then they were right on the edge of taking it all back, and to stare down that beast, if you're FSU, and find a way to win when Clemson's playing like Clemson, I give that a ton of credit. One thing I need from Florida State, Aaron, they got to be better on a play-to-play basis. They are great in the biggest, and this is not a bad trait, because like I would rather a team need to figure out how to be better on first and second down than need to figure out how to be good on third down. Like this team is great when it matters, which is a trait that is arguably more valuable. But they're not going to win a championship unless they can have more play-to-play success. Like just way too much third and long. It's just every single time they're looking at 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. They got it. And that's what Colin told us. Remember, that's exactly what Colin told us on Friday's gambling show. And so that's what I need to see out of Florida State right now. But I love Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman. A lot of talk. He gets shut down against Boston College. He goes back 5 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the massive one where it's just a one-on-one. Okay, my guy's better than yours. Go and get it to end the game. So, and for Florida State, what a great symbolic win. I keep talking about breaking the wheel, right? Because what I mean by that is like these past 5-year decade, it's pretty much just become, okay, we're going to play a football season and Clemson will be ACC champs at the end. And we'll determine whether or not like their resume was good enough to get them in the play. Like finally now, Florida State has said, no, not so. We are the AC favorite. We are reclaiming what used to be ours because pre-Clemson, it was Florida State like that for Underbound, where every single year was okay. We're going to play, and Florida State was so. Massive win for the Noles fans. If you're a Seminole fan, I hope you really enjoyed yesterday. And I don't know, Aaron, should FSU be number 1 in the country? I mean, they have they have the best 2 wins of the year.
They have they have the best 2 wins. I mean, if we were doing this on a purely, say the rankings are coming out for the first time on week 5 and we're doing it only on the sense of what teams have done to the first 4 weeks of the season, Florida State should probably be the number 1 team in the country. So yes.
But Georgia beat UAB. Did you see Carson Beck, dude?
I don't know why why don't you move Michigan out of it, asshole? Why don't you bring them up?
I would jump. My snaps top 10. I'm going to stump for Florida State to be over both Georgia and Michigan.
Okay, let's put them there this week. They deserve it. I ain't gonna be mad about it.
Okay,
I'm with you.
You're not gonna have any of your friends come bark at me while I'm hanging out with my daughters.
Will. Yeah, I probably will. You're a big boy.
Yeah, I can. I'm sorry. It's early. All right. Hey, that's going to do it for today's show. Huge shout out to Ryan Brumley, Chris Tran, Adam Gracia, Danny Cardenas, Pat Gunther, Christian Hunter, everybody waking up with us here this morning. YouTube.com/@VolumeSnaps. If you're watching on YouTube, remember you comment on the videos. We'll maybe pick it out for the show. But also, please, the road to 6K continues. Help us to get there. Step by step, we're going to build this thing, and we love doing it, and we hope you do as well. Or you can just Google Snaps Podcast, rate or review it wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back live on YouTube on Monday. We're hitting on all the stories from the weekend. Aaron, what are you going to do on this Sunday? What do you got going on?
I don't know. I woke up at 4:30 to catch the 6 a.m. flight back from Gainesville. So hopefully nap at some point would be nice.
Nice. I got to go
watch the Saints. Who are the Saints
guys? The Pink Pandas play at 1 p.m. every Sunday. My daughter's soccer team. So I'll be watching soccer right in the heart of the NFL slate.
Saints versus Packers.
Yeah, I'll be watching soccer. And then actually, no, I'll record it, and I actually don't mind this. I record it, and I just rewind it, and then I skip all the commercials. It's not bad. You know, what are you gonna do? Hey, massive thank you. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday, and we'll see you Monday for some more snaps.